story called The Little Rooster and His Diamond Button. A long time ago, across the ocean and up over the mountains, there lived a very kind old woman and her pet rooster. Now one day, the rooster went out to the yard to peck out some food from the ground. And he pecked 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 until he pecked out a diamond button. And the rooster said, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! I like diamond buttons. And my kind old lady likes diamond buttons too. I'm going to take this diamond button home and give it to her." And so that rooster scooped up the diamond button and started strutting home. Well, just as he was on his way home, the Turkish Sultan happened to be walking by. And this Turkish Sultan was a very large Turkish Sultan. He was like a giant. And he wore big, baggy pants. His pants were so big and baggy that he had to have 3 servants walking behind him just to hold them up. Now the Turkish Sultan was walking down the road and saw the rooster with the diamond button. And the Turkish Sultan wanted that button all for himself. So he called to his servants, "Take that little rooster, grab his diamond button away from him, and throw it into my treasure room." And so the 3 servants took the little rooster, grabbed the diamond button, and put it in the Turkish Sultan's treasure room. Well, you can imagine that the little rooster was upset. The little rooster flew right off to the Turkish Sultan's palace, and he perched on the windowsill and he called out, "Sultan, give me back my diamond button." Well, the Turkish Sultan was not used to people telling him what to do, and so he was angry. He said, "Servants, take that little rooster and throw him into a well full of water. Then that will be the end of him, and I get to keep the diamond button all for myself." So the 3 servants took the little rooster and threw him into a well full of water. But the little rooster had a magic stomach. And that little rooster called out, empty stomach, drink up the water." And that's just what his magic stomach did. It drank up all the water in the well, and so he did not drown. Instead, he flew off to the Turkish Sultan's palace, perched on the windowsill, and called out, "Sultan, give me back my diamond button." Well, the Turkish Sultan was really angry. And so he called to his 3 servants, "Take that little rooster and throw him into a fire. That will be the end of him, and I can keep the diamond button all to myself." And so the 3 servants took the little rooster and threw him into a fire. But he had a
magic stomach
that was full of
water.
And so he called out, full stomach, spit out the water." And that's just what his magic stomach did. wasn't burned at all. Instead, he flew right back to the Turkish Sultan's palace. He perched on the windowsill and he called out,
Hey,
Sultan!
give me back my diamond button!
Well, the Turkish Sultan did not like being told what to do, and so he was enraged. He said, servants, catch that little rooster and throw him into a beehive and let the bees just sting him. So the 3 servants took that little rooster and threw him right into a beehive, but he had
A magic stomach!
and so he called out, empty stomach, eat up the bees. And that's just what his magic stomach did. Ready? Now all of the bees were inside of his magic stomach, and because it was a magic stomach, they couldn't sting him. And so he flew right back to the Turkish Sultan's palace. He perched on the windowsill and he called out, Sultan!
Give me back my diamond button!
Well, the Turkish Sultan was so angry that he didn't even know what to do with himself. His face turned red and then purple, and he called out, servants, bring that little rooster right to me. I don't even know what I'm going to do with him. Well, the first servant said, if I were you, I'd throw him in prison. The second servant said, if I were you, I would turn him into a rooster soup. And the third servant said, if I were you, I'd put him in your back pocket and I would sit on him and squash him. Well, that big old Turkish Sultan liked the sound of that idea. And so he said, servants, take that little rooster and put him into my back pocket. I'm going to sit on him and squash him. And so the 3 servants took the little rooster and put him into the big baggy back pocket of the Sultan. But the rooster had a
Magic stomach!
that was full of
Bees!
And so the little rooster said, full stomach, spit out the bees. And the Turkish Sultan said, those bees were stinging the Turkish Sultan right through his back pocket. The Turkish Sultan said, take that little rooster, bring him to the treasure room, and let him have his diamond button back, and let him have all of the treasure too, just as long as I don't ever have to see him again. And so those 3 servants took the little rooster and brought him to the treasure room. And when the little rooster entered, he saw gold and silver and emeralds and rubies. And he found his
Diamond button!
and he had
Empty stomach.
an empty stomach that was magic. And so he said, Empty stomach, empty stomach, eats up the treasure. And that's just what his magic stomach did. And now the rooster's stomach was full of treasure. And he waddled home, happy to bring to his kind-hearted old lady a stomach full of treasure. And they both lived happily ever after.
Not the king.
The end.
What did the king do?